Hello, darlings. Hello, hello, hello. It's your favorite Auntie Wes for College Conversations for PlugInLIVE. Tonight we're speaking to a special guest. Hello, Mark Anthony Conradi. I hope that you're well. Stageworx. Hello, darling. How are you? We're very early. I promise you I will send... Hi there, Buddy Sachs. I hope you're well. And everyone that's quickly joining this wonderful live. We're going to be chatting to the wonderful Gemma.
Hello, how you doing, Wes?
I'm very well, thanks. And you, darling?
Good, thank you.
You're so welcome. Tell me something. Is the sound okay?
It does sound okay. If there's any way you could be a little bit louder, I don't know if it's my phone. Let me see.
It might be your phone.
I'm on full.
Well, you know what? There are people watching, and those people watching will probably say, "Hey, we can't hear you." And if that's the case, then we'll sort it out. But do me a favor while you're there, Jem. It's a little bit echoey on your side. If you can open the door. I don't know if that's going to help.
Yeah, hold on.
Thank you. If everyone's watching, I just want to say welcome to College Conversations with the wonderful Gemma Donnelly of Stageworx. Mullen says,
is that better?
oh my word, it's much better. I don't even know. I just thought.
Yeah, to the door.
Yeah, I don't know, so that the sound can travel elsewhere. I'm not a sound guru. I'm never going to be a sound guru, but you know what? We try. Anyway, so Jem, before we start, I just want to let everyone who is watching and who is going to watch, hopefully in the very near future, that we are doing College Conversations. This is a segment of PlugInLIVE with Moana on Plugin Theatre's Instagram platform and their social media platforms, where we discuss or chat and interview and talk to the heads of either departments, owners, partners of institutions in South Africa that offer performing arts education. We've spoken to Oakfields College, who does a diploma in musical theatre performing and dance. We've also spoken to Lambda, who offers obviously that wonderful experience and obviously their own qualifications, and the same with Waterfront Theatre School that offers their qualifications, licentiates and things like that. And now we're chatting to Stageworx, and we're very excited to have you on the show. But you know, on the live. Let's on the live, Gemma. How are you, darling?
I'm great. I'm really good. Thanks.
It's so lovely to have you, Gemma. We've got lots of questions and stuff like that. But first, what I want to do is I want to ask you, Stageworx opened when?
Okay, so yeah, let me give you a bit of background. It's been running indirectly for about 15 years now, but officially for about 10. I've always taught. It's always been a massive passion of mine, as well as performing. So I actually got to the stage in my performing career where I was starting to enjoy my teaching more than what I was performing. As I know that sounds crazy, but it was the case. I was really loving teaching. So I made the decision to do that full time, and that's kind of when Stageworx was born. So that was when was that? 2010 was when I left the industry completely to actually start the school formally, but I've always taught under the Stageworx banner. Then it started in my house. I was teaching everything in my house, and then eventually it took over my house and I started employing teachers, and then eventually the next door neighbours started complaining about all the wonderful singing that was taking place. Don't know why they were annoyed about that, but they were. So then we had to move out of there, and that's when we got the lovely building in North Riding, near the Dome, and that's where we're situated now.
Amazing. I mean, I've had the privilege of being at the studios either for workshops or rehearsals, and it's quite a lovely, large venue. Tell me something. So you said North Riding. So talk a little bit more about where the college is situated. Okay, for those of us who don't know, North Riding is in Johannesburg.
Yes. So it's in Johannesburg. It's near Bel Air. So if anyone knows Bel Air's Mall, it's literally right across the road from Bel Air's Mall. It's in Northview Shopping Centre. We're right next door to the Nando's there.
Oh yes, because that's by Northgate.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Yes. So if anyone wants to know, if anyone wants to come ahead and maybe shadow, if not shadow, just have to watch at what you do, then they know they can go to Northgate. Close to Northgate is Stageworx. Next to the Nando's sounds like a bit of a problem.
That can be. It can be, especially when my dog's named Nando. So you must know how much I love Nando. Seriously, he is. It's called Nando's. Meant to be.
Gemma, what I want to know is, so we've spoken to Lambda, we've spoken to Oakfields, we've spoken to Waterfront Theatre School, and all of those colleges offer something different. What does Stageworx offer that is something that's different?
I think we're completely different in the way that sometimes we can be seen as a feeder to those other colleges. So our 1 year program, we've obviously got the school, which is for kids that are at school that perhaps want to have a career in the arts or creative kids, and that's where they feel like they fit. But our 1 year course, which is our 101 Gap Year program, it's really to give young people that think they know they want to have a career in the arts a real taster of actually what it's about, and also to get them to maybe explore their journey in the arts and to explore different skills that maybe they didn't realise they had or could do. So for instance, if someone comes to us that is predominantly been trained in musical theatre and love musical theatre and goes dancing lessons and all those lovely things, we will open them up to songwriting, and we will open them up to African dance, and we will open them up to acting for camera, and we will open them up to videography and conceptualisation and writing. Because more often than not, young people box themselves very early on without actually realising there's all of these other skills that they have that they can make use of. So the idea for this course for me came from me growing up and being in quite a similar predicament, in that I loved writing songs and I loved the contemporary music industry, but I also loved musical theatre. And I had to make a decision as to what I was going to train in, and it was really hard. And I chose musical theatre, but I've always looked back and kind of gone, if I had the opportunity to do everything, then, where could that have taken me and what could I have learned in that process? And I think, especially with the world we are living in right now, it's not just about being a triple threat. It's about being, especially as a freelance artist, it's about being a triple threat. Yeah, being able to write, being able to choreograph, being able to film yourself, being able to do your own photographs, being able to, so that's what our course is. It's for people to find their journey. Then throughout the year, we personalise their timetables. So as we discover more about what they're good at, what they love, we then start to change their timetables around. So if they've discovered a love for songwriting, we might then say, okay, then you need to learn an instrument if you haven't done it already. So let's get you piano lessons. Also, I'm a firm believer in you learn from doing. As much as what you can learn in class, you learn much more by doing. So we find them internships and job placements. I send them to auditions. Not necessarily to get the job, although some of them actually do. It's more about them walking in and going, oh my gosh, this was not what I expected it to be. Wow, this is much harder, to inspire them to work harder.
It's true. I mean, I know that, when well, you do know, but I know for the shows that I've directed and choreographed over the last couple of years, I've always seen Stageworx students coming into the audition room. Some of them are obviously newbies, some of them are not. Some of them are seasoned auditionees, and always wonderful to see. And I always explore and want, as a creative, institutions to allow their students to audition, because auditioning is another game. It is a completely different game, and the first one you go, okay, amazing, I've done my first. It's either onwards and upwards, or it's I'm leaving.
Completely. That's exactly it. But that's ultimately what they need to discover. And I've had students that have gone 4 or 5 months into our course, that wanted to do a musical theatre course. So their parents were going to pay out for 3 years to send them overseas or to send them to a college. They do 5 months and then they go,
it's not for me.
Actually, I don't want to do this. I'm not made for this. This is not what I want to do. And they discover the things that they really love and that they're passionate about. And that's the direction they follow. So instead of wasting 3 years on something that is not for them, they discover quite early on that it's not for them.
Absolutely. I mean, you were speaking about some of the subjects that you tailor make for some of the students that come to the Stageworx Academy. Tell me about the other subjects that a student could take if they were prospective or if they actually got into your institution.
Yes, so the classes that they pick from, so our 101 package is a number of classes that are put together for them according to what the direction they're looking at going in. So we have all of the dance forms, modern, ballet, African dance, hip hop, technical dance, open dance, learning choreography on the spot, that kind of thing. Then we have ensemble singing, music production, audition technique, acting for stage, acting for camera, private singing lessons, private songwriting lessons, private instrument lessons. So that's the range. Then they go
smorgasbord of options.
Yeah, and then they go, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. Then we get to the next term and they go, I hate that, I don't want to do that, I want to bring this in. And so that's the year. Then when they get to the end of the year, a number of things happen. So I do career management with them as we're going through. So as we're going through the year, I sit with all of them individually and go, where are we at? Where do we want to head? What is realistic? What is not realistic? Some of them, and it's quite rare that this happens, but it does happen, that some of them do a year and are actually ready to go out after a year. And that is rare, but you do get those students that are already very well trained before they come to you, that have already had lots of experience, and that are at that stage. I don't believe you ever stop training them. So with those students, it really is a case of it's here and working here, and then the second year it does this, and then the third year we hope to kind of balance it out, that they're doing some classes and working as well. Some students choose, sorry, Wes, I can talk forever.
I'm also just reminding myself, because you're talking about working, and I mean, you've mentioned quite a lot of the subjects that your students can take. When you say working, you mentioned previously as well that you try and get them into the industry to shadow, to learn, work integrated learning, that sort of things. Like, what other sort of like industry experience do you try and get them to have or experience, for lack of a bit of word?
So we do internships at recording studios with record labels. We have people backstage working on productions. I personally am involved in a lot of when the world opens again, hopefully. Previously, have been involved in lots of events and putting together events. So I like to use the students and the 101s for those events. If we have like small gigs, for instance, with bands, we try to get them doing that. Obviously auditioning for musical theatre. Also, my husband runs a video production company, so some of them follow him around and get to be part of music videos, so it really is a big pick and mix, with the students, with where we place them.
Sorry, Gemma, I keep looking to the lectures and reminding myself of the questions. So I promise you I'm listening. It's just like, oh, what's next? Tell me, just before we carry on, I just want to let everyone know that's watching, or that will be watching, hopefully in the near future, that we're chatting to Gemma Donnelly of the Stageworx Academy in Johannesburg. It's part of College Conversation. If you're a prospective student, or if you're in matric, or hell, I actually want to ask you a question, so hold your thumbs and fingers, Gemma, about students wanting to just take classes. If you want to just take a class, please, you can extrapolate on that now, and you just want to keep your love for dance, or if you just want to take singing lessons or whatever, give Stageworx a little bit of a follow. And before we get to that, before we get to the follow and the how can we get hold of you, tell me about that. Can we just pop in? Can you say, hey, Gemma, listen, I want to come and do a couple of singing lessons to keep the training going, or hey, I have absolutely no training, I sing. What can we do?
Absolutely. Look, we've got a full range of students. So I've got students that are at the school because they're taking it very seriously and this is what they want to do. Yeah. I've also got students that are using the arts as a way to build self-esteem and build confidence. Amazing. Which is a big thing. You know, so we've got classes set out for them. We've got students that are using certain lessons to assist them with other aspects in their life. You know, I've had a couple of special needs students as well that have come in to help with communication skills. And so our classes are really open to anyone, and that's when I say it's very open, because I sit with every single student that comes into the school. Before they come in, I interview every single student, whether they're 7 or whether they're 19.
Yes, and so with that said, do you audition them or do you interview them?
It's both. So although we say it's an audition, it's really for me to gauge who are you. You know, who are you and where are your passions and where are your loves and what have you already done? So that when I sit with them in the interview, I can put together something for them that I feel is going to inspire them and give them the right teachers that I think is going to be a good fit for their personalities. And so rather than just a tick box of I want to do dance, there you go. We really try to sit with them and figure out their journey. And again, that can change. You know, I've got kids that have started with me at 8. I mean, Jessica Driver is actually one of them. She started with me when she was 10, you know. Wow. She went all the way through with us. And now she's
in the industry. I mean, she's auditioned for me. She was the lead in Stages. I mean, come on. So.
Yeah, I mean, and her story is quite incredible. And one day I'm sure you'll have her on to tell it. But she's, you know, she had a tough time at school. She really did, and people thought she was mad doing this full time.
Is that true that people think that all of us are mad? Like, oh, I'm going into the arts.
Completely.
Get a real day job. But you know, the arts is really people who love it, adore it, and will die if they don't do it. And I'm not saying die. Their life on this earth is over.
Your soul.
Their soul will die, and that's the worst kind of death.
Absolutely.
You know, Gemma, thank you for being with us. What I want to know is, if I'm a student, I'm on the Instagram, I'm watching this little interview that we're having while I'm having a sip of whiskey, and that's okay. When you're 18, you can do that. But now tell me, how do I get hold of you? How do I get hold of you?
So if you go to our website, www.stageworx.co.za with an X, on there is all of the information. So I'll have all the email addresses, the telephone numbers. At the moment, we're only officially going back in term 4, which is about 3 weeks. We're officially going to Stageworx, then to live classes. So all the interviews and everything that I'm doing are via Zoom right now. But if they go onto our website, everything is there.
Amazing. And are you on social?
Yes, we've got a Facebook page, Stageworx, and then Instagram is Stageworx_.
Stageworx_. Amazing. Gemma, it's so lovely chatting to you and getting insight about your academy that you opened. And I mean, like I say, I've had the privilege of coming to the academy, seeing the academy, teaching a few classes there that you've asked me to come and do. Megan and I both did our Trinity courses at Stageworx, and we loved it. Actually, before you go, let's talk about that, because I see over there's a question that I didn't ask. And I think this is Megan and Alyssa basically saying, nudge, 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 Weslee. Tell us about the qualifications that you offer.
Yeah, so we run the Trinity London College syllabus for performance arts and musical theatre. And I adore the syllabus, and the reason why I adore it is because it is so vast, especially the performance arts syllabus. Yes. It really allows young performers to explore all art forms and learn how they work together and create. And so we take that all the way up to LTCL, which is the equivalent of first year of degree study.
Okay.
So a lot of our students from there have managed to get into international institutions based off those specific qualifications. But for me, it really isn't so much about the qualification as to what the syllabus actually teaches with its structure. and what it forces the student to have to do, rather than actually coming out with the qualification. It's more about the process than the actual certificate that they get at the end of it. But yes, Megan and Alyssa both did that through me. Yeah.
And I mean, because the thing is, I also know, look, I studied at Pretoria Tech 715 years ago, and they always used to say, you know, your degree will never ever, your degree means nothing if you can't do what it means. And,
that's exactly it.
You know, it's exactly that. And yes, of course, parents want to know. Parents want to go, oh my word, okay, if I'm paying 20,000 Rand a year, for lack of a better example, what does my child get? You know, a certificate. I want to see a certificate. I want something that's going to say my child has completed, is qualified in.
Yeah.
If the LDCL is something to offer, that's amazing. And I fine.
You have yours, yay!
No, I don't have mine. I'm saying, should I?
You don't. But this is the funny thing. I actually don't have mine.
Okay.
No, so I did mine through Lambda, which is a completely different syllabus, which is really interesting. But on that note of the qualifications, I have to say that is, for me, it's the hardest thing to talk to parents about, because they really, sometimes it's really hard to communicate that this industry is all about skills. It's about skills. It's not necessarily about ticking the boxes for a qualification. And to be honest, with a lot of parents, I sit and say, if you want them to get a degree in something else. That's actually what I advise them. There's online degrees. Get a degree in marketing. Get a degree in business. Get a degree in something that is going to be worth the actual paper, if that makes sense. Rather and train your skills, you know. And that's hard, because I think unless you're actually already in the industry and seeing it, it's hard to communicate with parents. But I am, and here's a little plug here of my own, I'm busy writing a book at the moment. I'm stroking my dog and this is Nando.
Hello to Nando.
Hello, Nando. Come. Here he is.
Oh,
there's my dog.
Baby.
So I'm busy writing a book at the moment called Understanding Your Creative Child. And it's actually all about, it's for parents. It's written for parents that don't come from a creative background, that have never been in the industry, that don't know anyone that has, and suddenly they've got this child that is singing and dancing around the living room, and they have no idea what to do with them. I was that child. I come from a family that none of them were in the arts. And my mum had to figure it out as she was going along, and it was really, really tough, you know, and I wish that there was some sort of manual to explain to her all of the things that, you know, I mean, that creatives are prone to doing as well, you know. I mean, we are prone to being quite dramatic and all of those lovely things. So it's really unpacking creative children and helping parents understand
how to deal.
Yeah, and where to go with them and where to teach them.
Before we say goodbye, there's a wonderful question here, and I think let's take it because it's important. What happens to most of the students after the course?
Yeah, so there's a big variety. So some of them go straight into the industry, and we assist them with finding agents. Some of them I manage myself, so we take, especially if they're more in the music industry, we assist them with releasing material. If we look at Yatu, Philippa, that kind of thing, we help them move into that circle. Some of them we assist in getting into overseas institutions. So I've got, I think, 4 in London at the moment and 3 in America studying there. Some of them choose to have a more formal course in South Africa, and that's where we're linked to the Oakfields or Lampters or Waterfronts. And some of them go, that was great, I'm going to go study.
Oh no, I think we just lost you, Gemma? That we might have lost her. And with that said, Jaden, I really do hope that answered your question. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining the college conversations. It seems we've lost Gemma. And that concludes our musical theatre section. There are many institutions. Hello. Okay, let's finish that conversation with Gemma. We just accepted Gemma's request again, and then we will say our goodbyes. Hello, Jessica Driver. Hi, Jem. Sorry about that.
Lost you. Sorry.
Don't worry about it. You were talking about some kids saying they've learned what they want to. It's enough.
Yeah. So it changes for every single student, and it's also very much on them as well. And I think this is the other thing that young people need to understand is we can't wave a magic wand and suddenly give them a career. It's hard work, and it's independent learning, and it's what you are putting in from your side and how motivated you are as to where your journey ends up and where it goes. We can what is the word with the donkey and the carrots? We can
wave the carrot in front of the donkey. Is that the right? Yeah?
There is an analogy like that.
What we could say is we could lead the horse to the water, but it's up to you to drink.
That's the one. That's lovely, yes.
There we go. Gemma Donnelly, thank you so much. Once again, just quickly tell us how we can get a hold of you on the social and or on the internet.
Yes, so you can go to our website, which is www.stageworx.co.za.
With an X.
Or with an X. Or you can go to our Instagram page, which is Stageworx_, or our Facebook page, which is Stageworx.
So wonderful to have chatted to you this evening, Gemma. Thank you very much for joining College Conversations.
Thank you for having me.
You're so welcome. Have a good evening.
And you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Ladies and gents, that was Gemma Donnelly of Stageworx. I'm so sorry about that weird little glitch. Caleb Mayer, the theatre guy. Unfortunately, we live in a country where Wi-Fi issues and things are serious. Janique is saying bye. People are saying bye. Don't go to theatre. Just want to say hello. That concludes our musical theatre segment of College Conversations for this month. Ladies and gentlemen, those of you who want to do musical theatre, you can. And there are so many institutions. It's up to you to fish. So if it's Oakfields College, then go ahead, fish. Get hold of them. Go to a student day. Do a virtual tour. If it's Lambda, do the same. If it's Stageworx, do the same. If it is Waterfront Theatre School, then do the same. There are so many other musical theatre institutions in and around South Africa, or institutions or academies that offer training. So if it's about it, go ahead and do it. Until then, darlings, like I said before, brush your teeth. The only thing, that's constant is change, and live your life. Take care of yourselves. Next week, we're speaking to Nika Costa from Wits University. We're going to start with the drama institutions in and around South Africa. So if you are interested in studying acting or film acting or whatever, we're going to have a check. We're going to have a chat with the wonderful Nika Costa of Wits University. It won't be the same time or the same place, but it will be the same day. Oh, my word. Love you. Where's you too, Janique? Thank you so much. It's okay, darling. Don't worry about it. Weasley, it's a gig. Yeah, darlings. Do I have a tidbit to tell you? Here's a tidbit. Always use a masonry drill bit when you're drilling in concrete. Don't use wood. Stunning. Bye.